a North American smackdown for the honor of top 4 here at the Winter Major in San Diego, Turtle.
And what an honor it is to be here to present to you this amazing best of 7. These two are coming into the quarterfinals as complete opposites. FaZe, having performed well in their group, secured a bye round and got the day off yesterday. Meanwhile, Gen.G, they struggled in their group stage and nearly self-destructed, but out of the flames, they have arrived into the quarterfinals. And I'm sure that we and them are prepared to make this one heck of a series. Right off the bat, we've got FaZe Clan looking to start with some pressure. First Killer, he is eager to get into this series, Jorby.
Hey, absolutely. And FaZe, they've been in the tank. They've been grinding this winter. Roldiz getting them into shape, and you heard CJ seeing Roldiz pumping them up, trying to get decibel volume up and rock them a little bit. Trying to jumpstart FaZe's push, but Gen.G, they start off early here. FaZe with a couple of saves. Started off with a kickoff. Gen.G had a close one.
Yeah.
They haven't relinquished possession yet in the first minute.
And FaZe certainly know what they're up against. Gen.G, such a clean record against FaZe on LAN, at least. Not the case online. First Killer knocking at the door. Typical double tap, missed opportunity, but it looked good, and they keep pressing forward.
Good touch from apparently Jack. Now a one-on-one against Typical.
Oh,
and he gets destroyed. Jack gets the first goal.
And of course, it's Abjack. I mean, this man had 100% goal participation against the Falcons. And of course, it's him getting the first goal for Gen.G.
Unfortunate backflip there for Typical. See Jack come in, you know, there's about 30 different things Jack could go for.
Oh, yeah.
When he pops it up, and it's a 1v1. Ended up just mechanical input error.
And that just feels like what Gen.G's strengths are. There's so many different outlets for what they could do. They have so many different strings to their bow. Cohesion as a team.
But I mean,
Chronic
FaZe
alone.
do as well, right?
Absolutely.
There's 6 deadly weapons on this pitch right now. It's like Jack, yeah, he got that 1v1 Typical. You know, I don't expect him to have another input error like that.
Yeah.
We know First Killer more than
do we know First Killer?
For sure. Yeah. Jack back, he's got the touch, but a loose ball. And First Killer, there he is.
Indeed, we know this man and what he's capable of. Don't let him heat up at the beginning of a series. Abjack, he's the one who scored the first goal, but he's making the first mistake as well. Doesn't place it perfectly. You want to hit that to the corner. It's just a difficult situation to be in.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of boost. It was tough to get out to the side. You know First Killer was breathing down your neck. All you can do is hope you can bang it off the bar and your teammate can get there in time. Did not happen there for Gen.G. FaZe getting set up. Missed actually deleted by apparently Jack. First Killer waits. That's a good catch. What's he got here? Nolly sitting up on the wall. First Killer taking him out, and it bounces off the post. Typical collects.
And look at the outlets that First Killer can go. You have to respect it if you're Gen.G. He could have gone for the midfield pass, but by himself, gets the midair bump. 2 players in net, and that's not enough to stop First.
Yeah, someone's got to get up to challenge him. First Killer, 2 quick goals now for FaZe in response. Chronic kicked away by Typical. Nolly coming in to support. You know, talking to Nolly last night for today's games. Jack taken away. Nolly was feeling quite confident about how they would do against FaZe, knowing their record against them on LAN. They have a pretty good idea of how FaZe like to play. Right now, it's FaZe that are the ones in the driving seat.
But there really is something to be said about a team struggling early on an international stage. I think having those mistakes blatantly exposed in the group stage for Gen.G was a blessing in disguise. They can come out here, all the nerves were left in the past, and they can hope to hit that peak formation that we're so used to seeing.
You even see it. It seemed to happen to them in the regionals. They lost their group to Complexity, but come back some tight games. And it was FaZe who built that momentum in winter against Gen.G. Typical, this is a nice catch. But Gen.G are really struggling. Hang on to this ball right now. Jack trying to force Typical to give that play up. Typical no boost. He's happy to sit there while Mist and First Killer wait.
Big demo.
Here's a big shot.
Mist.
Denied by Mist.
Missed the Guardian Angel for FaZe Clan. Keeping that ball out. Locked in on defense. Rotations not breaking. First Killer patience in the corner. And a big 50 win from Typical. All that pressure relieved.
Chronic. Soft touch to get it back to Jack. Gen.G having to set up. All of FaZe were waiting in midfield. And that touch right there, Chronic forced to give it up. Nolly taking out Typical on the back end as Gen.G looked to break out. Chronic with the pre-flip with no boost, and he landed poorly, could not keep momentum.
Mist also got the demo. More space will be opened up. Gen.G have had great transitions, though not remaining in their own half for too long. He got a bump and a follow-up. Nolly's also going to turn early on, get a pass out to Chronic. This man doesn't stop. In rotation, wide open. And Abjack, he's going to finish it.
Abjack gets his second goal, but it's a great setup overall. You see everybody, Jack, covering the first option. Mist is coming across. He sees the pass coming through. Typical gives both of his teammates the length, and everybody loses the touch. Now Jack gets a free shot, and Typical just gets picked on again.
And to me, that play all stemmed from Nolly staying in rotation. He went into the corner, took the boost, saw the opportunity, turned on it quickly, and got that pass out, dishing it over. And Chronic, he wants the third.
Hard shot from Chronic, but not enough to make FaZe jump too far. Oh, what a try from Typical.
Follow up.
Down to Mist, and Mist gets the lead for FaZe.
Talk about staying in rotation. This ball, so many consecutive shots off the crossbar, off the side post, and finally with Mist. Third time's the charm. 28 seconds on the clock. FaZe Clan bite back.
You do all that work just to go down by one again, and not a lot of time to do it. They try to fake kickoff. The touch back to Jack. They're gonna make it work.
Not a good touch.
Could not get the touch, like you said. First killer punishes.
You like the idea off the kickoff. Abjack fakes it, sets up Chronic, but that first touch isn't ideal. Abjack has to recover and just dishes it out into the midfield. The FaZe Clan, they didn't expect the fake kickoff, but it worked out for them.
That Chronic just too far to the side. They didn't get the exact route that they wanted, or at least Chronic didn't. Just a little far to the line of the ball. FaZe Clan taking control of game one. Clean up these last 10 seconds. Maybe even get a fifth. They send it across, and first killer.
Certainly get a fifth.
Typical. FaZe Clan rolling.
Keep it going. FaZe Clan, game one as strong as ever.
Cool.
And talk about a difficult second half for Gen.G. There were so many good looks with that continuous rotation from Nolly. I liked what I saw from all three of these players, but very awkward defensive touches, and FaZe Clan were all over him.
First killer caught him on the break twice, and that really set the tone for the rest of the game. After that, Gen.G, just that second half, they did have some good setups, but they weren't good at building pressure. FaZe only gave them a couple of chances at a time, and you can't build that pressure. You can't get the boost. You can't get the boost. It's gonna be hard to keep pressing against FaZe.
And this is scary. First killer, 716 points.
He's on a mission.
2 goals, 8 shots. I mean, this guy, he is on pace for that first land victory, Jorby.
You know First Killer hates every single mention Fourth Clan gets. That grates on him so hard. He has been performing excellently this major. There have been some other players that have been performing just as well. But First Killer, time and again when it comes down to it, he always performs on this stage and puts up incredible numbers. He puts up incredible plays. But Typical and Mist, I really like how they're looking together as well. Typical especially, who's had an incredible winter where I think a lot of people felt like he took a couple steps back, and he really did. But winter has been almost like a revival for Typical.
Yeah, and there were so many people who were questioning Typical coming into this, how he folds under pressure, if he can handle this environment on this stage. And of course, he has answered the call. And as of late, he has looked unstoppable. Game 2, will it be the same story unless Gen.G can adapt, try to fix some of these defensive mistakes that we're not so used to seeing?
Nolly setting up Jack to start it off. A high touch for Chronic, but Chronic had jumped off the play seeing Typical, and all of Gen.G, not typically saying Gen.G don't have the field awareness, but it seems to drop at times. The ball gets loose, FaZe take control of it immediately, although they get the challenge here. Chronic and Jack are so far off the ball.
That was an eager challenge from First Killer. Not sure if they're getting too comfortable with the speed, but as I say, that Typical dusts out Nolly. First Killer's back in rotation. Chain dashing on the sidewall. This looks good for him off the backboard, but Chronic pre-jumps and gets it out, and another follow-up pre-jump from Typical. These players living in the future.
Missed. Pre-jumping Chronic's air dribble. Jack crashing the box. First Killer gets there.
amazing to see how these pre-jumps have developed over these seasons. The chemistry, the cohesion has to be spot on. If you're pre-jumping it, Chronic wants another one! Double tap, high in the sky, and he nails it.
He's got a chronic condition of putting the ball in your net, and he nails that double tap. Oh, right underneath the defense. They got a touch on it, but it just had too much heat.
Spikes it down, and what a way to start out game 2. Gen.G. They are certainly in this series for the long run. Nolly takes the boost, dishes it back out in the midfield, but Abjack, huge miss.
Abjack has not had the cleanest game so far, Turtle, and they need Abjack to be on his game in this series. But you think about that missed touch in the last game, that's a good shot, though, to keep it on. Abjack's had those issues in the past.
Talk about needing Abjack. I mean, he's required in this game. So his first killer on that bump, required to hit Chronic if they want to get a goal and have a response. Typical, throwing it to the corner.
No one on FaZe has boost right now. This is a chance for a quick transition.
This is a chance.
Chronic, oh, missed. He got back in time. Everybody's loaded up. They just couldn't get the ball downfield fast enough. Everyone from FaZe was
first killer still there.
One demo, two demos! Deletes the entire team. Typical scores.
It cost him an arm and a leg, but first killer is willing to make that sacrifice. 1 demoed, 2 demoed, and the first goal for FaZe.
And it's Gen.G getting that first goal. FaZe responding, and it's first killer at the helm. Now, the leave kickoff for missed. Went straight back to him. He got the 50. We see first killer playing the loss. Typical was on the far side. A very patient position for FaZe.
This looks so composed from FaZe Clan. We're not seeing them rush challenges. Every opportunity is such a quality attempt at the net. Nobody's really rushing in the sky. First killer side dodges or honestly opts out for that challenge to save on the boost. They know they have to play the smart game, the best approach possible against Gen.G.
Chronic up for this again on the 50. Typical. Waiting for Jack.
Look at the patience.
But Nolly scoops it out from under him. Trying to get in front, turns off the cam, got the 50 as well. He force missed off the ball. Nolly created so much value, but can they keep the pressure up? Jack rushing the touch, thinking it was gonna come quickly. Now Miss gets the turnaround. Hard flick save!
Miss was able to take that midfield boost and go. Typical drop down pass. Clean rotations. But FaZe Clan have gotten bunched up. Demo from Nolly. He's going to look for a second one. Miss takes out the striker, and first killer can recover.
Jack almost got caught out on that play as he was going forward, and then saw first killer through the smoke. Kicked that ball out, and now he might get there. Just did. Nolly trying to get the catch. Jack trying to get in the way of FaZe Clan, but first killer behind the ball. Missed, squigs out wide. First killer bumps one in. I think first killer decided that today was going to be an air dribble bump day.
I mean, I think
it's a big one here.
It looks like every player is going to come out of this series with battle scars. Nolly from the backboard, still looking to set up a play, and more demos, I'm sure, are going to come out.
Chronic and Abjack had no boost on that play. They were both looking just to pick up some pads. Nobody was there to follow up Nolly's touch. Gen.G, some broken opportunities when they've been getting downfield. FaZe difficult on defense, but they have retained midfield. And they get by typical here. Chronic denied.
Oh, no.
A little antsy there from FaZe. They've stayed here for a while now. Gen.G looking for a poke.
You can tell that FaZe Clan have been put in several uncomfortable situations within the past minute and a half. That's the third double commit we've seen in a matter of 20 seconds. FaZe Clan scattering just to remain tied up. Good pass across. Abjack not accurate.
There's a lot of FaZe cars in the way, and he had to avoid that first challenge as well. First killer. Taking the ball himself. Setting up FaZe. Did well to handle Gen.G's push for what was about a minute straight of Gen.G on the orange. Jack gets back downfield, pitches it across. And Nolly, Chronic, both on the same side of the rotation.
Here we go.
Deep, but the shot was way weak and not even on target. Right back into FaZe defenders. FaZe gets the clear. Gen.G looking for a way out. Are FaZe about to take this one away? He's looking for the ball. It's taken away there. Typical no boost. And Nolly might have helped him out.
Oh, he kept it up.
He kept it up. Shot not gonna get it done though. We got OT.
San Diego wants a nice little buzzer beater. We're not gonna get it. Game 2 OT. And Gen.G, I mean, it felt like they had to have punished with so many double commits from FaZe Clan, still unable to get the second goal. Missed one demo, looking for a hunt on Nolly, who pre-jumps the save and keeps Gen.G in OT, and then a follow-up. The accuracy will come through.
There's a little give and go between First Killer and Jack. Nolly gets that initial clear. Jack turns around, First Killer dumps the ball out to the corner as Jack is moving forward, thinking he's gonna get a free clear to the corner, steal the boost, or take his own boost and dribble the ball down the field. But Jack was right there waiting. Gen.G have tied it up.
2 goals on 8 shots for Gen.G. A little bit better than, honestly, I had anticipated. You saw the last minute before we got into OT, all those mistakes from FaZe Clan, and then immediately into overtime, FaZe Clan pushed forward, we're getting demos. I thought we were gonna see Gen.G crumble in that game, but the mental fortitude, how many times are we gonna talk about Gen.G and their ability to overcome obstacles and not get in their own heads, even when things aren't going their way, Jordan?
And when things aren't going their way, Chronic ends up picking up a solo play.
Yep.
That's what set the tone on Forbidden Temple with his double tap.
Yep.
And FaZe, they were able to fight and they made life hard for Gen.G on offense. But Jack, we talked about him struggling a little earlier. It seems to have stabilized by the end of Forbidden Temple. But having Chronic on your team
Absolutely.
helps you through those really tough moments.
When Chronic on the timeline yesterday was talking about how he thought he had a poor performance against Team Falcons. He has absolutely recovered, and now he is holding the position that Jack previously held against the Falcons. The fact that this Gen.G squad can constantly rotate in who is performing, who's peaking on any given day. They don't have to rely on only one player, Jordan.
And Nolly has been incredibly consistent in this tournament.
Absolutely. He hasn't had any
Hasn't really given up any touches.
He's just been that glue.
Yeah, every time his call comes onto the ball, he always finds a way to at least get a 50. I mean, he even generated that one chance where he had the pop-up, forced missed off the ball, got the 50 against Typical to put pressure in front of the box. And Nolly does a lot of that quiet work that helps facilitate Gen.G's success.
Well, we just witnessed a sweep. We're not getting that in this series. One apiece, and game 3 underway.
Now FaZe, you had struggles putting pressure on Gen.G. Despite the attempts on the air dribble bumps, you were able to get a couple of close tries. Gen.G's defense clutching up. First Killer. Some force off the backboard. Mist has to stay flat. All of Gen.G are there. You're gonna have to do more work than that.
And I love First Killer in game 1. I do think Typical is going to come alive. This man will age like fine wine in this series. The shots, I'm sure, will improve. His involvement on the offensive side is gonna come in. But we will see a better FaZe Clan. Just need to see that man start to get behind the ball a little bit more.
We're seeing good pressure from Gen.G. Chronic coming in, giving himself options. He's over one. Got the dunk goal! Skips the cross. Nolly gets a chance at the ball. Goes straight, aggressive. Jack waiting. And just tried to buy a little bit of time. He didn't really have an angle in. First Killer with no boost. Launches it back downfield for FaZe. Puts it in the net.
And at first I was actually gonna critique First Killer on rushing this pass, but he knew what he was doing. Saw Chronic in an awkward situation, smacked it off the backboard, and no clear will come through, and Typical strikes first.
FaZe getting that first goal. Now Jack off the kickoff, looking for Nolly. In there for Gen.G. Chronic is left, now he's on the stealing. Did he just steal it? Jack dove. You know you can take a chance there. Nolly playing deep. Now he avoids the bump and gets the save, but First Killer's still there. Backwards in front. Taken away by Chronic. Jack reading Typical's touch. Here comes Gen.G again. Jack taken away. First Killer will not let him get in. But they still might go. Here's another shot coming across Chronic, just trying to prevent FaZe from even jumping for the ball.
What I love so much about both of these squads is how fast they can continue rotating in and stay in the opponent's half. You think they have to run back to their own side, but they are quick to remain stagnant in your half. They will set up shop in your defense and not let you carry this ball out. Nolly wants to carry it around the player, but can't get it. They're still lurking, waiting for the first one.
Went for the bump on Mist. Next on that, surely Gen.G pick up that goal, but it's starting to look like game 1. Gen.G, they push, they push, they push. They just can't seem to break through that FaZe defensive line. And how about the moves here?
Yeah.
Coming across from Mist. That just got the save, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. FaZe get 2.
Mist is living in your own half. Outpaces Chronic. Then through one simple shot on net, you make Abjack dive at it. And it's a free one given FaZe Clan. That pressure is making Gen.G crumble.
Gen.G, what do they got in the pot here? They're getting bumped out of the pot. Typical. Just driving through it. Abjack cutting rotation and just couldn't get to the follow-up 50. Gen.G gonna try again from the blue.
And that's typical, taking your corner boost, meaning the transitions should be weaker, and they're forced to get this booming clear. Abjack very eager on that shot. What a flick to the Musty, trying to launch it downfield on a catapult. What does Mist have to offer over one player? Instead it's a 50-50 and speed coming through out of first killer.
Nolly gonna be next on it. Looking for Chronic, it's a deep pass. He wants Jack. Jack actually wins this touch.
Two FaZe players.
Leaves it for Chronic.
Where's the
Nolly
follow-up?
coming in, he's got the shot, but first killer had time to set himself up. Here's another one. Chronic goes low, and here comes another.
Surely this
Nolly
one.
goes left, and he gets the first goal for Gen.G.
They keep setting up Nolly, and eventually this man will find the top corner. There it is, all the way to the top left side.
So much pressure from Gen.G there.
It's suffocating FaZe Clan.
They knew that they had FaZe off their rotation just slightly. That's why Nolly came in. All 3 players were right in front of the box, but they knew they could let him take that shot. Chronic rotating out. He got the boost steal. FaZe just got starved, but looking to respond here. Here's another shot. Oh, almost found the top corner.
They kept giving Nolly a lot of chances to take those shots because he continued to be late in the rotation, but that third one, he was right on time and right on target. First killer, it's an illusion with Miz, and you don't even have to touch it.
He's a master magician going up with the fake. Oh my God, Miz pulls off arrow.
Oh
Back, and
my.
first killer puts it in. That was
That's dirty. That's dirty.
I think I need to clean off after that one. Sheesh.
Oh my goodness. At this point, you're scoring when you barely even touch the ball. Maybe get another one, the 4th for FaZe Clan, off the crossbar and out.
Gen.G still alive in this game. They've had some good pushes. They've had good pressure. Here's the FaZe defense proving to be uber difficult, but they find a way to break through. They get 2.
Gen.G will not get knocked down. Nolly knows there's still plenty of time, 60 seconds to get going. And that's all him through the corner. You see him dish that ball out and then continue with a bump.
Yeah, getting first killer out of the play. Had to wait for him to come across. FaZe forced.
It's a 1-goal game, Jorby.
Here we go, Jack off the ceiling, keeping it close. Chronic just gets away from him. Had missed frozen. Jack looking for a bump on the 3rd man. All of Gen.G on the opposite side. Jack's trying to protect it. It's dying here right now for Gen.G. Typical with no boost, a chance for Jack to win. He's got it over 1, but the touch gets away from him. Deletes the 2nd man. First killer responds. Typical demos Gen.G on his own. And first killer went for the wide angle double. Transition here for Gen.G.
That was the first demo for Gen.G. Previously, good passing in the middle, connecting, but still won't get the final execution. 13 seconds remaining.
They're really trying to get that tying goal. 2 chances now blocked by FaZe. First killer, pushing Chronic out. Typical, it's
on target.
The demo opens up the net, but Nolly closes it down. One more chance, he's getting harassed from behind.
Kept it up though.
Tried the flick, but Mist gets over top of him, puts it in the net, and ensures a FaZe Clan Game 3 victory.
The insurance comes through. Mist is gonna put it away, take 1 to go. Make Gen.G feel that much more humiliated in Game 3. Couple of chances that did go their way, but FaZe Clan really stepped up on the defensive side. They had to handle so much pressure out of Gen.G.
Gen.G just didn't have enough. I mean, look how many shots they had, man. 12. So many times getting her, like, they were bumping FaZe.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. They were getting those demos. Like, they were trying to get creative. They had the passes. They got aggressive. FaZe just always seemed to have a response. Always seemed to be a player seeing the totality of Gen.G's offense, knowing exactly where to position. They can't pull FaZe off their rotation on defense enough.
I mean, as we take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance replay, we can see that a lot of this came down to FaZe Clan's predictions and their ability to understand exactly where Gen.G wanted to move the ball. I think it got more confusing in their own half. There were a couple of chances that did go in favor of Gen.G in the box of FaZe Clan, excuse me, but in the midfield, that's where I was most impressed. I mean, even that last goal from Mist kind of represented how that entire game played out. Mist gets the read, wins the challenge, then that puts everyone on Gen.G out of place and you've got a free shot. I think that's what has been the bread and butter for FaZe Clan, winning and predicting that midfield game.
I remember Roldiz talking the other day on First Touch and asking him what's the hardest thing that you guys have had to work on this split, and it's letting down the individual and elevating the team. And I think Game 3 was exactly that coming to fruition.
And interestingly enough, it was Gen.G who truly inspired that play out of FaZe Clan. First Killer in an interview said he was inspired by the way Gen.G moved the ball, how they play, how they approach the game. They took a little bit of that and combined it with that individual prowess, that individual skill, and now have turned into the monster that is FaZe Clan. Attempted to score first, but we're back down the other end. And how quick does FaZe Clan, all three of them, get back?
First Killer turns, but Mist got that crucial 50 in front to kill it out to the side. Nolly with a massive touch. Gen.G get the lead.
Welcome back, Nolly. Lovely to have you here. What an early shot. Oh, great speed. That's a tight angle, but Nolly makes it work.
Now FaZe on the kickoff. What they got? First Killer drills it back to Mist. Typical turning back as First Killer takes the 50. He's going the whole way back for his boost with Nolly. Full control. Back to Jack. Gen.G sent away to the midfield. Chronic, a little bit of space to get back to this ball, just diving in front of it. Nolly past it.
And I am seeing an awkward rotation now from Abjack. He looked like he was trying to get more involved with the demos, but not sure what play style he needs to find against FaZe Clan. Does he want to go for the demos? If not, he could have stayed in and possibly had a shot. It's getting more and more difficult to demo FaZe Clan just because of how fast they rotate and move out of the field.
Another deep one for Jack to defend. Hits the first one. And actually scoots out real wide here for Gen.G. Chronic now off the ceiling. He's got Nolly supporting him, but a save and a little pinch pass. Back to Jack.
My goodness.
God, rip that ball to shreds!
He left a dent in this ball after the shot. 42, but that shot was coming in at least 150.
I need to know that exit velocity.
That is insane.
Someone gotta get the replay after that and figure out what was going on there. He ripped that ball. Woo.
That didn't even look natural. I don't know how he got that power. Must have pinched it with the ground. But regardless, Gen.G, this is certainly them back to form. And it's been back and forth in this series, Jorby.
It has. Gen.G, they put on some stellar defense over the course of the season. I think FaZe has been one better on them in the match so far, but in this game, Gen.G, in the first 2 minutes, have handled business. Nolly with a couple of incredible saves early on.
I mean, it's interesting because Gen.G have been looking for these demos and trying to play physical, but they have 0 in total. And that's, I guess, credit to the speed of FaZe Clan. They're taking boosts always in the air. Certainly an aerial game for them that they want to play. The more grounded they are, the harder it's going to be to control Gen.G. This one slipped out. First Killer, does he have a flip? He's trying to use it, the pass down. It's unbelievable.
Oh, First Killer with a triple tap pass. There's the first, there's the second, and he's got one more. Oh my goodness, he's just so disgusting, dude.
That shouldn't be possible.
That's nasty.
Oh my goodness. That's gotta be one of the greatest passes we've seen so far at this LAN. Gets the reset and moves forward. That's how you get your team back in the game.
How can they respond though? We still gotta get one more. Heavy physical game for FaZe. As we start the back half of game 4. Pass to Nolly. Nolly wants the second.
Hey.
Jack off the bar and in! They're slicing him up!
FaZe Clan have to respect Nolly. He's been hitting these all series long, but he floats behind it. The illusion. And I think he's claimed the title of the best magician right now on the pitch. Faking the shot, letting it fall off the backboard.
Feels full of magic, isn't it?
Absolutely. This has been one heck of a series, one heck of a game though for Gen.G, but FaZe Clan aren't out of it yet. Still just under 2 minutes, so much time, and they've got pressure to work with.
Good attempt there from Mist. There's nowhere for Reciprocal to go though. Got bumped off the play. Now Jack, he's getting bumped out. Trying to square up. Nolly forced off the ball by First Killer. Downfield, Nolly trying to defend. First Killer letting Mist come in. Typical playing real close to Chronic here. FaZe, all of them pull back as soon as they see Jack get that pass, but then they close down the midfield immediately. Almost like they're willing Gen.G to come to the midfield, and then they just steal the ball away again.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter when you get demoed on the backside and Chronic starts winning those 50s. The game plan only...
Look at that from Nolly. I mean, that's ridiculous stuff to keep possession, understanding that his teammates are a little bit farther pushed back, and that wastes so much valuable time off the clock that FaZe Clan cannot turn back. Gen.G are operating at their highest peak at the moment.
Straight down again, Gen.G keeping the pressure, getting another goal. They would not let the ball go, and they get their fourth.
I mean, can you blame FaZe Clan for not reading that pass from Chronic? He's coming from the left side of the ball and somehow still manages to hit it to the left side. More and more improvement out of Gen.G.
Yeah, it's been a, like you said, return to form when they went up by 2. A lot cleaner on defense. That's a nice pass.
Ooh.
FaZe. Letting Gen.G know they don't care they're down by 3 with less than a minute. They're still coming for your net.
That was such a speedy shot too. My neck broke trying to keep up with it.
Oh,
Abjack, a double tap.
Oh!
Nolly stole it, but Abjack earned it.
Nolly just throws himself up. He says, I'm here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Jack, hit
You worked hard, but I'm
underneath. What is Rocket League anymore? This is ridiculous.
This has definitely been a smack in the face against FaZe Clan. And this is a best of 7, a long series. We are certainly looking like we're going the distance. But we have to remember there are timeouts. The question is, do FaZe Clan use it after this game? It has been nothing but Gen.G in the second half. A couple of good glimpses out of FaZe Clan. Can definitely agree with that, but it's the recoveries out of Gen.G. And I think their passing game has definitely elevated.
A lot better for sure. FaZe didn't have that type of possession. They didn't have the space.
Yeah.
Gen.G aren't giving that to them anymore. For FaZe, they were trying to generate that space, trying to generate those quick counterattacks out of the midfield, letting Gen.G come forward, knowing exactly where they can attack. But when you're not winning those challenges and your timing is thrown off on the rotation, you're constantly forced back, now you're losing the boost. And FaZe just executed that game plan efficiently, and not FaZe plan, excuse me, Gen.G did, and the scoreline speaks for itself.
And Mist was very quiet in this game alone. I mean, 170 on the scoreboard, only 1 shot for Mist, when typically, especially in that last game that FaZe Clan did take the dub, I thought Mist was the facilitator for almost all of FaZe Clan.
I just felt like second man, no matter who it was on FaZe, but we're always in a super aggressive position. Like Typical a couple of times would come across the box, maybe look for a bump or a demo while First Killer's back in midfield, but you're giving Gen.G almost free outs that way. Typical, they weren't giving up the ball. All of Gen.G had it. Jack happy to get that second game back, and the comeback kids come back once more.
Well, and this is where FaZe Clan can prove just how much progress they've made. I think at this moment is where they would struggle previously, whether it was online against Gen.G in the previous split. They'd struggle at this point. When the tension was there, when the going gets tough, how do they respond? And we're gonna find out just now how much they've improved in this split over the season. Their chance to take down Gen.G on an international stage.
Winner takes this to match point. Another pass in front, Mist scores! Winning the kickoff, picking up the goal.
And I wanted to see more from him. He must have heard, because he's coming out swinging. Abjack, not even a touch on that challenge. First Killer is so quick to get it out.
Yeah, Abjack going for the challenge, but First Killer was already around the ball, going for the pass, not even considering, apparently, Jack. That's got to feel good for FaZe, which were really struggling to get anything going last game.
Especially for Mist. I mean, that man barely had any involvement in the play. So in the first 15 seconds, he's getting there with the first shot, first goal out of FaZe Clan.
High ball again, but Gen.G are in position. You're a tight one in the corner. Abjack downfield. Little pop-up, Appjack swinging wide, back over.
Got space, too.
Quick shot, but that one's just gonna be a pressure-building touch. All of Gen.G, wait, reciprocal.
And you'll notice, Jorby, Gen.G are actually pushed a little bit further back. I don't see them going for as many demos. So this was definitely a strategy they used in that last game. Here comes Appjack. That patience there from Chronic. You think it's gonna work out, but Mist bulldozes his way through and takes the boost.
And he's got a touch, he's got two. In front, he even gets a demo. Mist doing a lot to break through the Gen.G line, but there was really nowhere for FaZe to pick. Even though he cleared the path, now another path gets cleared. For first kill, Mist, backed up.
What is that pass?
Connection secured.
How often are we seeing these mechs out of Mist? I want to see more of it. Flip reset from the ceiling to get it over to first.
Nice little pass from Mist. Gen.G, little off target there. FaZe take this to match point. They rock it out to a quick lead. Gen.G just haven't even had a chance at the net.
And I remember, Jorby, we were talking about that change in play style from FaZe Clan.
Uh-oh.
First killer, what more do you have for us? It's the third one.
He's got another double tap. First killer and Mist. Mist forces the touch from Chronic out into space. Nolly sees that apparently Jack is frozen in net, so he comes up the wall trying to support, but really, it's Mist setting up that whole play, forcing Chronic off the ball, and first killer does first killer things.
You can see what happens when Mist is playing well. All of FaZe Clan step up to the occasion. Unbelievable showing just within the first minute and a half.
Both teams still have their timeouts as well, and if this continues the way it is, Gen.G may be forced to use theirs just to reset. They do got 3 minutes plus here to figure things out. Back pass reciprocal, back to Mist, and has to leave it for Gen.G. Now a quick transition, Chronic. He's been quiet since game 2.
Yeah.
Hasn't gotten much done for Gen.G. And that one in front again, FaZe Clan with first killer, 4 goals.
Typical. He's in the backfield trying to disturb you, be a nuisance, takes out Nolly, and they are running away with game 5. It's constantly back and forth in this series.
First just getting so much value, Turtle, on these pushes for FaZe.
Yeah.
Like Mist, right, he set up the 50 into a bump, into, okay, I got a double tap pass out, and now Typical trails 2 on a 50, bumps the other guy out, and FaZe are doing a victory
What
lap
is
around
going
Wasteland
on?
Night right now.
They're just draining all of the energy out of Gen.G. Chronic. That's such a rushed touch. He's feeling the pressure of the first 4 goals, and now he's the reason why that 5th one will slip in. Gen.G, they've certainly got their work cut out for them. 5-0.
Oh, Typical wins another touch. Is that a 6th
Is it
goal
6?
coming? It
It's
is.
6.
First killer puts in another goal. And I mean, they're not dead yet, but I mean, jeez.
And I said, Jorby, this is normally when FaZe Clan would have struggled historically. Maybe we talk about in the last split, they're up against Gen.G. They got smacked around in the last game. The comms could have been low. The mentality might not be confident in this game, but no. They come out 6-0. Ridiculous stuff.
Definitely expected maybe something a little closer, but I guess FaZe were saving all of their offense for this game. Gen.G set one up. Jack back on the rotation. That's been happening to Gen.G pretty often in this series, where their timing on the rotation is just off. No one's available for the follow-up. Someone needs a boost. Someone needs something else, and they just can't actually push FaZe back.
I feel the exact same way. I'm noticing so many different connections in the offensive half for Gen.G. The passes, the ideas are there. I mean, we've got demos out of Nolly, but like you said, it's the timing, the rotations for Gen.G. They seem to be a couple of seconds off. That could be due to boost starvation. Some of the demos from FaZe Clan have certainly shaken up Gen.G, but
Maybe a little bit of boost anxiety, which
normally
is,
those rotations don't break so easily.
yeah, I mean, Gen.G are very good on the pathing most of the time, but when you put on a lot of pressure against another team, you can force them into some bad habits. FaZe looking for their 7th. Really, they're just buying time till we get to game 6, where Gen.G really gonna have to figure themselves out here.
And I do want to see a couple for Gen.G if possible. Even getting 1 goal would be important. But the mental side of things is not where I worry for Gen.G. And especially with how this series has gone. I mean, FaZe Clan just got smacked around in the last game. They're able to return the favor, give Gen.G a taste of their own medicine. The difference is FaZe Clan will now put us on match point for the semifinals, and Complexity are waiting.
An impressive game for FaZe, a statement game for FaZe.
There it is.
And Gen.G setting up the Brazil as we got 56 seconds left until we move on to Neo Tokyo. FaZe Clan fully in control.
Setting up the Brazil indeed, but still getting one goal to snap yourself out of whatever genjutsu that FaZe Clan were putting you under.
If they get their mojo back, I definitely think a timeout's warranted at the end of this game for Gen.G. Little off their rotation, maybe a second goal denying the Brazil, maybe. But this quarterfinal, really, there's been a lot of games in this tournament, Turtle, where we see equally strong teams put on a 5 or a 6 spot in a game. I mean, it's been a very offensively heavy tournament for these top teams. FaZe Clan, Gen.G, both of them no exceptions to it. They have both put on those high-scoring games. FaZe just own Wasteland Night.
It's more apparent than ever just how impactful a lot of these individual players can be, but what makes them and what separates them from others is how they utilize each other. FaZe Clan, you've got First Killer getting flip resets off the backboard to pass it into the midfield. But can we talk about Mist? I don't think we would have seen this game be so one-sided had Mist not stepped up in the first few minutes.
You wanted him to step up. It didn't have, it wasn't really in the center of the action much in the previous game. And I mean, he was in front of it the whole time. First Killer dropping a cool 1K on the board with 4 goals.
Typical's just cruising. He's 152. He's just in the back bed.
That's the happiest 152 you've ever had.
I don't think you can get any more comfortable than that. Typical 152 on the scoreboard. First Killer 1,017. But it doesn't feel like there's that much of a disparity between all 3 of the players. They're definitely moving as a unit, Jorby.
Shout out to all the fans that have come out to DreamHack San Diego.
We've got people standing in the back as well.
Everyone wanting to see who moves on to the semifinals to play Complexity, who looked rock solid against Crew earlier today.
4-0. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get one heck of a series, but we're still in the middle of a dogfight. And Gen.G actually do take the timeout.
I think you have to. I don't think
you don't have a
go
choice.
right back into the next game after you just got, you got danced on. You were the mat.
I mean, you got lapped, what, a couple of times. First Killer, what did he get, 4 goals? I mean, the man was unstoppable. 1,000 points. You've got to try and cool him off. Try and dump some cold water on the other side of the pitch, because so far it's been nothing but magma for FaZe Clan.
Well, we heard Jack say it during the season. He said it was a thinking man's game.
Yes.
First Killer heard that and took it to heart. So right now, FaZe are outthinking Gen.G on the pitch. Gen.G have kept it close. It has not been easy for FaZe. Can they respond with a statement of their own on Neo Tokyo?
But one thing that has been so difficult for so many teams in San Diego, Jorby, has been closing out a series. Once you get onto match point, the atmosphere changes. FaZe Clan know what they're up against, but this is where they close things out. Will that pressure make them sway a little bit? Will it make them uneasy? How are they gonna approach Gen.G?
You see Roll Diz keeping everybody talking, keeping minds fresh, as the 60 seconds can feel long, especially
like an
when
eternity.
You know you're 1 game away.
1 game away
from the semifinals. Timeout's over. All of their seconds are
Here we go.
Gen.G gotta execute on Neo Tokyo. Can they send it to Champions Field, or will the defending Fall Major champions be defeated?
Right off the bat, big clear from Gen.G, but First Killer's got full boost, and he's gonna smack Abchak out of the way. Starting things out physical with FaZe Clan's first push.
Been a physical game. It started this entire series. A couple of air dribble bumps. In game 2, after they traded a couple of blows, Chronic delaying the touch. Typical, and Mist gonna follow this one through, but Mist follow up, he loses to Nolly. Nolly bumping one out of the way. Chronic up high, and he did have the top of the net to maybe look at, but tough for him to get around. close enough for a shot.
Look at the impact that first killer can make as that first man. Gets the clear, takes the boost. Now the follow-up from Gen.G is going to be slower. There's more space presented for FaZe Clan. This is rinse and repeat out of them, but Gen.G, they have a chance to start things out strong. In the previous game, was already going worse for Gen.G. FaZe Clan scored within the first 15 seconds, I believe, and this has definitely been a good recovery from Gen.G. Still nothing yet on the board.
And again, a little more pressure on offense. Typical getting tied up with Chronic. Chronic, no boost. Typical coming back down. Apparently Jack gets that 50, but Nolly's on the opposite side. Chronic having to dive to get to that ball. That could have been a high-pressure opportunity for FaZe.
Oh, Chronic, hesitation in the corner. That's not what you want to see. Nolly, better patience. He's going to bail out his teammates. And Appjack has a shot, but a little bit wide. Shooting accuracy. You remember what happened in the first few games. It didn't look ideal for Gen.G.
Oh, even right there. Nolly diving forward, but there was really nowhere for him to go. Except to get to the 50. He couldn't even do that. Now Jack up high. Chronic coming back around. Not a lot of boost for him. Nolly was close to a full tank, but they keep having to weave around FaZe, getting chipped off. Jack has to chase the ball downfield. And that's not the way Gen.G want to play this game. They want to control this ball, but FaZe are simply not letting them.
This might be a new strategy. Just trying to hold the possession in their own half. Might not be as reluctant to move forward. Appjack takes another corner boost, gets a demo. The pressure will be applied. Nolly has to outpace first killer, but he can't.
Great touch in front of the box. Right here comes Jack again, missed. Sends it across, first killer gets deleted. Chronic trying to squeeze that ball into mist. Nolly, quick dive, he's got the wing.
Going down.
Straight, no shot, Jack has to wait, and all of FaZe Typical is already downfield, they get the clear.
There's that timing we were talking about for Gen.G. Normally you see a second man in that spot, in rotation, to at least put on a shot, but it's an empty, open space for FaZe Clan just to get a free clear.
They haven't given FaZe many chances yet, though. 3 minutes are already gone, can you believe it? On Neo Tokyo. FaZe in position to win this series, to take Gen.G down. They haven't done it once on land. Typical, losing the ball there, but Jack forced to give the touch up. And it swings right back to apparently
Good
Jack.
control.
Jack,
Chronic in position.
Leaves at the Chronic, and the shooting. Nothing is working. They're trying to leave it. They know what they want to do. They're setting it up, but they're not executing.
I'm not sure if they're just expecting FaZe Clan to have worse rotations, potentially no goalkeepers.
And Jack's rushing his progressions too, where he's normally so solid. Gen.G, the nerves get to them. Nolly, he's trying to set it up, he's trying to set it right. But the 50, it bounces up. Chronic now has to buy a little time. He doesn't have enough boost to do much with this. Gives it back to Jack, and it's just a dead ball.
Out to nobody. FaZe Clan, at this point, they can just wait on their own heels because the ball will trickle out to the corners, but a demo might create opportunities. We know Gen.G have better striking, have so many different arrows in their quiver.
Saw Nolly and Chronic think about going for that challenge, and then they both pulled off. Communication key for Gen.G. Nolly, here he goes again from the midfield line. Jack coming in close for a follow-up, but he's never gonna get one. He's just watching the ball sail around him as FaZe hold on defense.
Oh,
FaZe back on offense. Denied. Now can FaZe actually set up some pressure on the blue half?
We'll see how Gen.G can handle that pressure, and they do it well. First killer has to get a touch. Does manage, and under control, he goes out of the left side. That's two players missed alone. Look at the poise, look at the composure. He gave it to himself.
First killer, no boost, but he gets a perfect touch despite getting his boost stolen. Jack keeping it close. Wants the pass. He's got it. It's wide and taken away by FaZe. Another one for Chronic. Swimming across. And he pull off another solo hero attempt for Gen.G.
Missed. He could end it.
Here comes FaZe. Missed, got the first challenge. First killer drops it down. Control. Another 50. Pop up on the ramp. No block. And the bounce on the ramp gives Typical the chance to kill it. Neo Tokyo overtime. Golden goal. FaZe Clan 1 goal away from the semifinals.
Gen.G. It could just be one mistake, one double tap from Mist.
First killer. Zero boost. Pop. Typical couldn't get there. Now Jack's racing forward. Takes his first killer. Cuts off the rotation. Missed. It's a perfect bounce, a perfect touch. Missed on the dribble. Nolly takes him away. Jack already downfield, but it's back over to the corner. FaZe don't have it. Chronic, he's got it, and it's taken away.
30 seconds into the OT. Back and forth game.
the
Previously it was Gen.G, now it's Nolly with the shot. When will Gen.G find the execution?
That time, stoic on defense for FaZe.
So many different shots. 9 for Gen.G, 3 for FaZe Clan. This has been Gen.G's game.
But FaZe, they look like they believe it. They keep pushing so aggressively. You're right there, diving hard for it. Jack, no, he can't get the bump. Typical stays.
Another one.
Off the bar and down. Miss got the grab. Jack coming in the crash. One demo. First killer avoids another. Chronic gets there in time. Gen.G, all the chips on the table. Their lives on the line. But FaZe, they're the ones swinging in the balance on defense. They push it back out. Nolly planting himself, hoping for a boost steal. He's never going to get it. He's got to leave and get back. First killer denies them. Here comes Miz.
Miz.
One more touch. Leaves it.
He missed.
Typical denied.
FaZe Clan, they have 11 saves on their side. They've kept this ball out. They found the predictions. First killer could end it. Looking for the final dagger, Jorby. This could be it.
He almost got that follow-up. FaZe getting to the 50s. Typical. Pass back, but Jack was all on top of it. First killer forced to wait. Now Nolly gets another chance.
Nolly.
Off the ceiling.
Double
Nolly,
tap.
here
Double
he
tap.
comes. Keeps it close. Jack has the quickly, but it doesn't matter. How many times you touch the ball? It's not going in the net.
It doesn't matter if you can't find the accuracy. The shots have to be better for Gen.G. They are one mistake away from going home.
Nolly backflipped off the ball, and now first killer, the 50 taken away. Gen.G, despite not being able to find the net, they're still finding ways to get back on offense. But
Typical.
downfield, Jack saves Gen.G's life!
They're still in it, 2:30 into OT, but FaZe Clan, they keep pushing, they keep extending. Abject saves him again.
Oh, Jack just gets there again. How many times does he have to make that save? How many times do they have to save their corners? Here's the box, here's FaZe. Oh! Absolute dynamite! FaZe destroy Gen.G onto the semifinals.
First killer out to miss, gets the reset, and FaZe Clan move to the semifinals. What a defensive showing in that last game. Absolutely unbelievable. 12 saves for FaZe Clan, and they earned that win, Jordan.
That was so many, and even Gen.G on defense. So many saves.
You got Abject getting the saves in.
Oh, no, they didn't have like any saves, but I felt like they had a lot.
I mean,
more.
at the end in that OT, all of their saves came through. It was apparently Jack who pinched it off the crossbar, and I mean, that has to hurt. You're thinking about Gen.G, all of the different opportunities.
Yeah.
They worked hard enough to create the chances, Jorby. At the end of the day, it's as simple as hitting your shots, finding accuracy, and that was, honestly, from the beginning, what Gen.G were struggling with. Eventually, you could get Abject, coming through. He was picking up the pace with the accuracy, but it still started to plague them in the final moments.
Gen.G, yeah, it hasn't been the easiest tournament for them overall, but you know, they really got outplayed in the back half of this series. We talked about the timing, the rotation issues, and then it came down to touches, rushing their progressions. But then on Neo Tokyo, it felt like they had fixed all of that by the second half. Forcing OT, they had so many shots, they had so many chances, but it was FaZe Clan outthinking Gen.G, outplaying Gen.G.
Yeah.
They were never able to beat them before on LAN, and now they have beaten Gen.G on LAN. FaZe Clan looking like one of the favorites of the tournament as they have been since it all started. Let's go listen to them with Stupi.
San Diego, make some noise for FaZe Clan and first killer. Now first, we know the history between you and Gen.G. It's always a tough fought battle, but before that series, I was able to talk to Roldiz. Seems like you guys had them figured out. Now talk to me about what it means to have a coach like Roldiz that is able to dissect those things and translate them to all you guys and be able to figure that team out.
It's honestly great. It relieves a lot of pressure on the players to like do that on their own, and he just like the reviews all the like the replays and stuff like that, and just tells us exactly what to do, and then we just do it, and it just works.
Now, you guys have punched your ticket once again into some semifinals, and you're going to be going up against Team Complexity. Now, they specifically said they do not want to face you, especially if you, First Killer, are on, I mean, you're hitting insane shots, you're just on point. What's your message to them right now?
Just be ready, because we're coming for you.
Love it, love it. Now, I'm sorry that I gotta ask this question. What are you guys gonna do to get past Fourth Clan? How are you gonna put an end to that mantra?
Honestly, I don't really know. I just hope we do.
They hope they do, and we're gonna make sure we're gonna have all eyes peeled when that happens. But before that does, we're gonna go back up to the desk and have them break it down.